It took me a long time to understand this. I looked at my suffering as something that took from me my confidence, my peace, my health, and honestly, I thought it had ruined my life. But eventually, I started noticing something I couldn't explain, something my pain had left behind. When you've suffered long enough, you become very aware of what you've lost. The years, the opportunities, the relationships, the version of yourself you thought you were supposed to become. But I started wondering something. What if I was only looking at one side of the story? What if something had been growing too? Looking back, I imagined a different version of my life, a version without addiction, without loneliness, without all the mistakes. And I used to think that version of me would have been better off. Though after some time, I started questioning that. What if that version of me never becomes who I am now? Because the person I am today wasn't created by my best moments. It was created by the moments that broke me. The nights I thought I wouldn't make it. The disappointments. The losses. The years I spent trying to escape myself. Take those experiences away, and you don't just erase the pain. You erase the wisdom that came from surviving it. And that changed how I saw my past. Once I started seeing that, I began noticing the evidence everywhere, even in places I never expected. I've always had a special connection with dogs, especially the ones people avoid, the ones labeled difficult, aggressive, broken. For some reason, they always seem to trust me, and I think it's because they recognize something. Pain recognizes pain, and maybe people do too. The more I thought about it, the more impossible it became to ignore. What if my suffering hadn't only been hurting me? What if it had been shaping me, preparing me to understand people in a way I never could have otherwise? That possibility changed everything. I spent years asking, why did this happen to me? But ultimately, I realized I was asking the wrong question. Because the bigger question was, who did this suffering turn me into? And the answer surprised me. What I couldn't see back then was that I kept measuring my suffering by what it took from me. The time, the possibilities, the version of life I thought I was supposed to have. But I never stopped to ask what it gave me. Because if my life had unfolded the way I wanted, I might have been happier, but I wouldn't be this person. And honestly, I won't trade that. Next film. Once I stopped seeing myself as a victim of my story, I had to face a much harder truth. What if the life I wanted was waiting on the other side of everything I was trying to erase?